What if you had a mind so strong that nothing could throw you off balance? Imagine emotional waves crashing around you, but you remain the unshakable rock in the center of the storm. The world gets louder, more chaotic, but your inner composure never breaks. Pressure mounts, but you don't snap. Anxiety and fear show up, but they don't get to drive. Instead, you calmly observe, you reflect, and you choose your response with cold, hard reason. This isn't a superpower reserved for monks on a mountaintop. This is self-mastery. It's what the ancient Stoics taught, and it's the key to rising above the 99% of people who are tossed around by circumstance. Why 99%? Because let's be real, nothing is absolute, but if you can build a mind this resilient, you're playing in a league most people don't even know exists. If you're ready to start forging that mind, comment, "I am training," down below, and let's begin. Number 1. Your mind is a muscle. Train it, or it atrophies. Think of your mind, not as something you're born with, but as a muscle. Seriously, if you train it, it gets stronger. If you neglect it, it wastes away. An untrained mind becomes a playground for negativity, anxiety, and 1,000 pointless complaints. What happens when someone never exercises? Their body gets weak, their energy plummets, and climbing a single flight of stairs feels like scaling Everest. The exact same thing happens to your mind. Without mental training, you become easy prey for social media drama, the 24/7 cycle of bad news, and the shifting opinions of everyone around you. You get dragged into petty arguments and lose sight of what actually matters. But this isn't your destiny. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said it best. Every habit is confirmed and strengthened by the corresponding actions. Walk every day, and you become a better walker. Run every day, and you become a better runner. The same goes for your mind. The more you train it, with just 5 minutes of morning meditation, by questioning your gut reactions, by simply pausing to breathe before you respond, the more resilient you become. You're building mental muscle. So train your mind daily, because if you don't, trust me, something or someone else will train it for you. Number 2. Break your mental laziness. Be honest. When was the last time you spent an hour scrolling through headlines and hot takes but never actually clicked to read and understand an article? That's mental laziness. It's a silent epidemic that makes us passive, easily manipulated, and robs us of our ability to think for ourselves. When you only consume without reflecting, you outsource your own opinions. You stop thinking for yourself and start thinking what others want you to think. Here's a simple challenge. Spend 15 minutes a day reading a real book, not a blog post, not a tweet thread, a book, and challenge yourself to ask why about the things you see and hear. Don't just accept information, interrogate it. Epictetus warned, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." The moment you stop questioning, you stop growing. A strong mind isn't one filled with facts. It's one that's hungry for understanding. Break the pattern. Every time you feel the urge to just zone out and accept something, ask yourself, is this really true, or am I just repeating something I heard? Take back control of your thoughts, and you'll stop being a follower and start being the architect of your own mind. Number 3. Master your emotions before they master you. When we think of discipline, we think of the gym at 5 a.m. or saying no to that extra slice of pizza. But there's a deeper, more important discipline: emotional discipline. It's the ability to feel anger without becoming rage, to feel sadness without drowning in despair. It's the art of the pause, that tiny space between a trigger and your reaction. Someone cuts you off in traffic. Your instinct is to slam the horn, to curse, to let that hot spike of anger ruin your next 10 minutes. But what if you didn't? What if you felt the anger rise, acknowledged it, and then just let it go? In that pause, that's where your power lies. That's where self-mastery is forged. This doesn't make you a robot. It makes you a leader of your own life. You stop letting fleeting emotions make permanent decisions. You protect your peace, and you command respect because you are in control, not of the world, but of yourself. Every time you pause, breathe, and respond thoughtfully, you're doing a rep for your emotional muscle. You're joining the few who live not by chance, but by choice. Number 4, eliminate the noise, focus on the essential. We live in a world of digital noise, a constant tsunami of emails, notifications, and updates. Your phone lights up before your eyes are even fully open, and your mind is immediately pulled in a dozen different directions. By noon, you're exhausted, not from deep, meaningful work, but from the constant, draining hum of trivial information. Every ping and every pointless scroll chips away at your focus and your willpower. You feel busy, but you're not being effective. You feel scattered because you are. The Stoic Emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote in his private journal, "If you seek tranquility, do less. Or, more accurately, do what's essential." This is your permission slip to ignore things. You don't need to respond to every message instantly. You don't need to have an opinion on every trending topic. Real power comes from knowing what deserves your attention and what is just noise. The strategy is simple, but not easy. Turn off all non-essential notifications on your phone. Now. Designate the first hour of your day as a no-phone zone. Decide your top 3 priorities the night before, so the world doesn't decide them for you. When you ruthlessly filter out the noise, your mind sharpens, anxiety fades, and your sense of control returns. If you're serious about this, commit to it. Comment, focus, and power below. Number 5, adopt the habits of the invincible. Does invincible sound like a fantasy? It's not. It's a mindset built on habits. We become what we consistently believe about ourselves. If you tell yourself you're fragile and the world is out to get you, you'll find evidence for it everywhere. But if you decide that you can rise above your circumstances, you will. The people who seem unbreakable aren't just lucky. They have built mental habits that shield them. They don't ignore life's storms. They train for them. They motivate themselves when no one is watching. And when they get knocked down, they don't wallow in self-pity. They get up, ask, "What can I learn from this?" and move forward. Think of Helen Keller. Left deaf and blind in infancy, she could have surrendered to a life of silent darkness, but she didn't. With relentless curiosity, she fought to learn, to communicate, to connect. Her limitations became the very source of her legendary strength. She proved that the true barriers are the ones we accept in our own minds. You won't feel invincible every day, but each time you choose resilience over resentment, you are forging that inner armor. You are building the habits that win battles before they even begin. Number 6, demolish your limiting beliefs. I'm too old to start a business. I'm not qualified enough for that job. There's no way I could talk to them. They're out of my league. Sound familiar? These aren't facts. They are invisible cages you've built around yourself. They are scripts running on a loop in your subconscious, quietly steering you away from what you want most. Stoicism teaches us to take a sledgehammer to these cages. Marcus Aurelius gave us the ultimate reframe. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. That obstacle you're facing? That's not the roadblock. That's the path. The fear of not being qualified is your fuel to get more qualified. The belief that you're too old is the reason to prove that wisdom and experience are your greatest assets. The moment you look a limiting belief in the eye and ask, "Is that really true?" you start to take your power back. Doubt your doubts more than you doubt your potential. Every time you step forward despite the fear, you're rewriting that old broken script. By the way, if you stuck with me this far, thank you. We're halfway through, and the next lessons are where we go from theory to transformation. Don't even think about clicking away, because what's coming next could be the key you've been looking for. Number 7. Learn to be alone without being lonely. In a world that screams for constant connection, solitude has become a lost art. But it's in solitude that we find ourselves. Friends, family, partners, they're wonderful, but they are not with you 24/7. The one relationship that lasts your entire life is the one you have with yourself. You better make it a good one. The Stoics knew that true strength comes not from being surrounded by a crowd, but from being comfortable in your own skin. Most people run from silence. They fill every spare moment with podcasts, music, or scrolling, terrified of what they might hear if they just stopped. Embrace solitude as a tool. Use it as a mirror. Try this. For 2 hours, one day this weekend, unplug completely. No phone, no TV, no friends. Go for a long walk. Sit with a journal. Just be. The first 30 minutes might feel agonizingly empty. That's the withdrawal. But then, something amazing happens. The noise fades, and you start to hear your own voice. You realize that the peace you've been chasing isn't out there. It's been inside you all along. When you master the art of being alone, you stop needing validation from others. You become a fortress. Number 8. Master your inner dialogue. Your inner voice can be your greatest coach or your cruelest critic. For most people, it's the latter. I'm not smart enough. I always mess things up. I'll never be as successful as them. This internal narrative is more dangerous than any external enemy. But Stoicism teaches a revolutionary idea. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who hears them, and because you hear them, you can question them. You can challenge them. You can rewrite them. Look at Simone Biles, the greatest gymnast of all time. At the Tokyo Olympics, under unimaginable pressure, she chose to withdraw, prioritizing her mental health. The world was watching, critics were shouting, but she mastered her inner dialogue. Instead of self-criticism, she chose self-compassion. She turned her inner voice from an enemy into an ally. You have that same choice every day. When your mind says, "I can't do this," add one powerful word, yet. I can't do this, yet. It changes everything. Master your inner dialogue, and you free yourself from the limits you once placed on yourself. Number 9. Build mental endurance. Do what few dare. You know that moment in a tough workout? When your lungs are burning, your muscles are screaming, and every fiber of your being wants to quit? Most people stop there. They listen to the voice that whispers, "That's enough." But greatness isn't forged in the first few reps. It's forged in that last, painful one that everyone else skips. Mental endurance is the secret ingredient that separates the good from the truly great. Anyone can be motivated for a week. But what about 3 months in, when the initial excitement has faded and the results are slow to come? That's when most people quit. The few who dare to continue, when it's hard, when it's boring, when no one is watching, are the ones who succeed. Their secret is a mind trained not just for comfort, but for the grind. As Epictetus said, No great thing is created suddenly. When you feel like stopping, tell yourself, this is the point where the 99% give up. This is my chance to join the 1%. Dare to keep going. If you're ready, comment beyond limits to make a pact with yourself. Number 10. The power of visualization. Close your eyes for a second. Just do it. Imagine yourself in a situation that makes you nervous. A big presentation, a difficult conversation, asking for a raise. But this time, see it going perfectly. See yourself standing tall, your voice calm and confident. Feel the success. Picture the positive outcome in vivid detail. That's not just daydreaming. That's actualization negation, and it's a mental rehearsal used by elite athletes and top performers everywhere. Your brain has trouble distinguishing between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. When you repeatedly visualize success, you are literally carving new neural pathways. You're programming your mind to win. Mary Perrin's Olympic swimmers have already won the race in their minds 1,000 times before they even touch the water. This tool is for you too. Before a big event, spend 5 minutes a day seeing it unfold exactly as you want. When the real moment comes, your brain will think, I've been here before. I know how to do this. Natural visualization isn't magic. You still have to do the work, but it aligns your mind with your actions, giving you the unshakable confidence to execute. Actualization, see it, feel it, then go out and become it. Number 11. Curate your influences. You're a direct reflection of the 5 people and the information you spend the most time with. If your circle is filled with complainers, cynics, and gossips, that negativity will seep into your subconscious. If your daily information diet is nothing but sensationalist news and shallow social media feeds, you will become anxious and unfocused. Your mind is a garden. Plant weeds, and you'll get weeds. You have to be the ruthless gatekeeper of what you allow in. Choose your influences with intention. Unfollow negative people online. Read books that challenge you. Listen to podcasts that teach you something. Surround yourself with people who are striving, who are optimistic, who hold you to a higher standard. Protect your mind as fiercely as you would protect your body. This is how you train your mind and master your life, while others are unconsciously letting the world poison their garden. Number 12. Your inner citadel cannot be broken. This is the final lesson in the very heart of Stoicism. Life will throw its worst at you. You will face setbacks, heartbreak, and injustice. That is a guarantee. Most people break when this happens. They blame the world, they feel like victims, and their inner peace is shattered. But the Stoic path is different. You build an inner citadel, a fortress inside your mind that external events cannot touch. You understand what you can control, your thoughts, your choices, your actions, and what you can't, and you pour every ounce of your energy into what you can control. When the storm hits, the untrained mind asks, why is this happening to me? The trained, stoic mind asks, what can I do now? A job loss isn't the end, it's a chance to learn new skills. A failed plan isn't a catastrophe, it's a reason to find another path. This isn't toxic positivity, this is radical responsibility. Your inner strength is the one thing no one can ever take from you, unless you give it away. By practicing this daily, you will stand unshaken, not because life got easier, but because you got stronger. Training your mind is a lifelong journey. There's no finish line. There is only the daily practice. By applying these 12 lessons, you're not just learning to cope, you're learning to thrive. You're building a life of freedom and resilience where no person or circumstance can dictate your inner state. It all starts with a simple commitment. I will train my mind every single day. Repeat that to yourself. To rise above the 99%, you don't compete with them. You focus inward. You build your citadel, brick by brick. If these lessons resonated with you, subscribe to join our community of modern Stoics. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and let me know in the comments which lesson hit you the hardest. Together, we build, we grow, we move forward.